Yeah, Dire Straits. Money for nothing, chicks for free. What's going on? Very 80s, feeling very 80s today. How is everybody doing? Give me a 1 if you can hear me okay, and you're excited for this webinar. This is a massive webinar, you guys. I've been trying to get Brian and Don on no shit for like 3 months, 4 months. So it's been an effort, but they have graced us with their presence, and I'm stoked. I'm really excited for this one. Oh, Africa. Let's close that out. Sorry. Good. You guys can see my screen okay? Give me 1 if you can see my screen. Nice. Lots of ones. Lots of ones. Okay, guys, we got another packed house here. So, we had like an 82% conversion rate on this page that you're looking at right here from good old ClickFunnels. So obviously a lot of you guys are very interested in this. Honestly, this has been a really well-kept secret. I'm surprised more people don't know about what Brian and Don are going to show you, their software, which is just crazy, because it's been really, really effective, particularly in the lead aggregation, lead generation, and pay-per-lead arena. So this thing has been beastly. And if you're in local client SEO, if you're in affiliate SEO, if you're in pay-per-lead, if you're doing anything online at all that requires SEO rankings, these guys are going to blow your mind. So seriously, take notes and get your, kick the dog out of the room, close the door, turn off your Facebook, turn off your phone, stop tweeting. This thing is going to happen fast, and it's a lot of information here, guys. So, we are going to try to record this and replay it, but my technical expertise is leave something to be desired. So, pay attention, take some notes, ask questions too. You guys, I want to hear a lot from you. I want to see questions in the box. Brian and Don are more than happy to help you out. That said, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and try to unmute Brian and Don. Let's see if I can do that. We got Brian. Let's say unmute Brian. Brian, you there with me? Yo, B, are you in the house? Okay, no Brian yet. Let's try Don. Don.
Oh, I'm in the hizzy.
There you go.
I had the mute on the good old Yeti.
Nice. Hang on. Let me try to get Don on here too, Brian.
Yes.
All right. Don, are you here with me?
I am here. What's happening?
Nice. So Brian and Don on the webinar. Guys, really thank you so much for coming on. I know a lot of my high-end students, a lot of the people in our groups, Passive and Massive, and PPL Army. What's up, PPL Army Strong? They've all asked about this. Many of them are using your system. So I think it's time we let the cat out of the bag here. What do you say?
I got to tell you, Brian, I'm just going to start this off by saying, you're really, really kind by saying how great we are and all the rest. The fact of the matter is, without wonderful people that run killer groups like Passive and Massive that teach people real world stuff every day, we're nothing. But we'd never be found. You have an awesome bunch of people. A lot of them, yes, are already Lead Gadget members or former Lead Gadget users with the old Lead Gadget. And I just can't brag enough about how the reception has been in your group and everything else.
Yeah, man. I mean, we love our members, and what we try to do is give as much value as we can, and you guys are chock full of it, dude. I've been chasing Don. Don, literally, how long have I been asking you to come on a webinar, man?
That's been quite a while, man. Just totally busy. The thing with the Lead Gadget stuff that we're going to be talking about here is, this thing's totally consumed Brian and myself and me also with the coding for like the past couple years. We're constantly updating and doing all kinds of things to it. So, but yeah, the Passive and Massive group though that you're having there, this is a perfect fit for all these guys, because the thing with your Passive and Massive group is you're actually teaching people how to build real businesses, instead of the goofy things that we typically see out there in internet marketing where everybody talks about things that don't work. You're actually showing people how to do that, and it's a perfect fit for this because that's exactly what we do. This is the core of our business. So,
dude, if you guys are looking at my landing page right now, it says another 100% for free, pure value, and no bullshit webinar. So, you've got to pass the BS test before I'll let you on one of our webbies, dude, and you guys are in there like swimwear. That said, dude, why don't you... let me ask you a question, because I haven't asked you this. I know we've talked a bit offline, but let me ask you, how did you guys get together, and give us a bit of a background on your relationship and why you partnered up, and then kind of how that built into Lead Gadget?
Well, if you want to get into it, I mean, it's almost 14 years now I've known Don. And it started from my phone company that I had that I literally just closed down back in April. But Don has been, he was a coder back then.
Remember what he just said, everybody. He closed it down in April. That's because this thing, like I said, is the core of our business.
Yeah. That's a fact. But I was online in a chat group, and I met Don then, and we became friends. And the next thing I know, he started doing some coding for me, and I hired him for work for my company. I mean, immediately, it was like great. And it was because we were friends, too, that I loved working with him. Well, the friendship just went on. Then he went on and did his own stuff for a little while by, a lot of people remember him, in the height, you could say, of the Warrior Forum days, before it got sold and turned into a pile of rubbish, to be very blunt. Don used to put out plenty of plugins and all other stuff, and I was always there and always been his friend. And every year pretty much I go up for Thanksgiving or Christmas or just whenever, spend a few days with him. He comes down and spends a few days, and we've been that kind of close friendship, for over a decade now.
That's awesome, and that's really cool. So, if I'm getting this right, Don, you're really the kind of the coding end of things. You're really handling all the development. Is that right?
Yeah, I always did. I did a lot of marketing, and I also did a lot of coding. But I've done coding I've done coding since 2000 or since 1990 or no 1980. Geez, what am I thinking? I'm 43 years old. Since 1980 on a Commodore VIC-20.
Damn, so. and yet you can still put sentences together. Very well done, sir.
Well.
Not easily.
I can't say that I enjoy it as much as I used to, but I do enjoy actually seeing the results of what I create. So, the programming used to be a lot more fun than it is nowadays, but the results that you see from the programming, great. I love doing that. The thing is, I mean, like I said, I've been doing the computers forever. I owned a computer shop forever. Like Brian said, met him one time a long time ago on the internet. Made the call platform for his phone business. That thing, he just shut it down. That thing was running for 10 years, never went down. So I've done all kinds of coding for other places. But then, like you mentioned, the Warrior Forum. A lot of people probably remember me from the Warrior Forum because I always went by the handle Zero Phil, and used to sell a lot of different plugins. Like I used to do a lot of testing and everything out there, and try to see how I could make things work. And when they were actually working for me, then I would turn them into something that was easy for other people to use, that weren't technical nuts like me.
Nice. Well, that's awesome, man. I always love hearing the history behind a good partnership, and I know you guys have been together for a long time. That said, guys, why don't we start getting to a little bit of the meat and potatoes here of this webinar. I know a lot of people are chomping at the bit, and just kind of a side note here, since we started this webinar, we've more than doubled our capacity, and we're about to start bouncing off of my 500-person limit on GoToWebinar. So
holy cow, that's
fantastic. You packed it out, and so everyone that's in right now, congrats, you got in. For people listening to this in the future, on YouTube or wherever you are, do the same thing. Pay attention. This is going to be value-packed. So, guys, why don't I do this? I'm going to pan the presenter role over to you. Brian or Don, who wants it?
Give it to Don. Let him run it, and because we do webinars really easy. I let Don handle the changing of the pages.
All right, so I'm going to click Make Presenter, and then I'm going to hit OK. And typically Darren has to help me with this, but I think he's on here too. All right, let me know when you get that. I think you have to click the OK button, and then we'll all give you the heads up when we see it. How's everybody doing, by the way, out there? Is everyone excited to see this? These guys are building 30,000, 50,000, 350,000 page websites. That's no bullshit. That's in under 10 minutes. So who's pumped up? Give me a keyboard head smash if you guys are excited to learn, the magic behind this.
You can see my screen too, right, Brian?
Yeah, we're all good.
Lots of ones. We got you in a nutshell. Hey, Brian, I got to say something. You're really pious about this, but I helped your wife when you were kind of testing us to make sure we really were the real deal. Your lovely wife was I was doing some team viewer stuff with your wife, building a site for her to show her. And it was just, she's like so nice, but she got this so quick. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
gotta
Well,
tell you
she got back to
something.
me and said, "Holy shit!"
She's a tech geek like me. That's why.
I was just going to say she's a lot like your relationship with Brian, Don. You know, she is.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Don's wife thinks we're married anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, hey, everybody out there, can we see the screen? Can you see the lead gadget in a nutshell?
Yeah, put one in there, guys. Put one in your screen if you could see lead gadget in a nutshell.
Yeah, lots of ones. Okay, guys, I know we're all excited. And just to reiterate, we did get one question here. I want to go to it. Daryl asked 350,000. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct, Daryl. And they're going to show you exactly what happened here. So you guys,
we'll explain to you how that actually ends up happening. So.
Please do. Take it away, guys. It's all yours.
All right. So basically, when we talk about what Lead Gadget is in a nutshell here, and it's a dynamic web application that creates and deploys massive WordPress sites within minutes. These sites rank and allow you to bring in massive traffic to any type of offer you have. So, like we'll talk about some of the different things that you can use this for here in a minute, but any type of offer that you can pretty much think of, or any type of lead generation or anything, this will actually work for. And
I just got to bring something up on the massive sites, guys. It's really important that some of you that are not technical and that some of you that understand from a technical standpoint, these sites, for a size, they're not 5 pages, okay, like most people are used to making a 5 or 10-page site. These sites come out initially at 30,000 posts with a snap of a finger if you want them in 10 minutes and they're done. Or you will be able to see in a little bit, you can make them for a designated, 5-mile area, for example, and it's only 50 pages, just as an example. But I just want you to remember the overhead that happens on a server with a small site is nothing compared to when you put these behemoths on a server that we build. And we make them rank and we kick ass in Google with them.
We'll actually touch on some of that too, especially in the Q&A after we get done here, about some of the reasons when it comes to some of the hosting and stuff, and how when you're doing a real business, how you manage that versus how people that are just playing around manage it. In the Lead Gadget ATM, it's been running for almost 3 years. But the actual methods and the knowledge behind how it works, this is stuff that we've been doing since 2010. And it works great. It continually evolved with the knowledge and stuff that we've gained from testing and tweaking things. Like I'm saying here, we've tested, we've tweaked, and we've molded it into an amazing machine that it is right now. And the Lead Gadget ATM is constantly updated because, like I said before when we were talking in the beginning, this is the core of our business. So it will the Lead Gadget ATM will never be done, so to speak.
It will never be finished. Like, you look at it and you say, oh, wow, that's cool. And then you look next week and you say, oh, wow, look, they added another function. Oh, wow, they tweaked this. Oh, wow, the look of it has changed. And look how much more easy this is.
Yeah, it went through so many iterations over the course of these past 3 years that we just actually rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up just recently.
There was a major update that went out. And a lot of guys that you can talk to within the Facebook group, whether it's passive and massive, and ask about us, and how it's, and how it's evolved, literally how it's evolved, and we never, ever, 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 ever charge for updates or anything.
It's funny, guys, because we have a question here that just popped in the box as you're speaking about the evolution of Lead Gadget. Jamil asked, what's the difference between Lead Gadget and SERPshaker?
SERPshaker is a plugin. Lead Gadget is a system.
It's an actual web application, and what you're going to find when we go through this, a lot of those questions are going to be answered because it'll make a lot more sense. But we're probably going to have to go through a little bit more of this slide here before I answer that, because it will make...
You wrote both. Don wrote both of them, guys. He's co-creator on them both, so he's going to answer that directly for you, Jamal.
Yeah, you're talking to the guy that can answer that the best out of probably anybody on earth. So
because you created Lead Gadget and Surfshark.
No, both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
now Andres, my partner, when I did that, Andres has taken over and he's been doing a lot of the coding on that. But Lead Gadget is something that I went to because I wanted to do things and Brian wanted to do things, and we wanted to massively scale them, and we wanted to make them push-button simple. So it'll make a lot more sense here in a minute.
Okay. The ATM creates your Cloudflare account.
Before we even start on that, now here's some of the things you're going to have to think about when we talk about, like, as far as that comparison that you just asked about. The ATM creates your Cloudflare account, which Cloudflare, if any of you are familiar with it, we were probably the first one that made this mainstream, and I am, because of all the talking that I did about it.
Hold on, Brian, could you check, guys, if you know what Cloudflare is and use it, could you put 5 in the box? Just put the number 5 in the box. Brian, could you tell me if there's a lot of 5s coming in?
Yeah,
Yes,
we've got a lot of people that know what Cloudflare is. I think what we should clarify is what the hell the ATM is.
Okay.
You jumped right from Lead Gadget to ATM, and I think that you're going to lose some people there. So maybe explain what the ATM is.
Okay. The ATM, guys, Lead Gadget is the company and what we do. Okay, we're always looking for the leads. The ATM is the actual product. We call it the ATM for one reason. So you're very clear on it. This bitch spits out dollar bills. Dollar bill, y'all. Don't get it screwy. This puppy works, and it just constantly is spitting out money with every time we put a site in. That's why we call it the ATM.
While you're saying that too, Brian, just to touch on some things, guys. This thing only had about 6 people in it originally, and then we moved on to where we had 50 people testing it, and then we moved on to where we had 100 people testing it. And most of those people are still there because the only way that we found that people can't make money with the Lead Gadget ATM is the ones that don't actually use it.
They don't wake up in the morning and turn it on. But the ATM is a web application. It's a piece of software that you log into. It's not software that goes on your laptop or desktop or your iPad or your phone. You log in to the ATM at, the ATM.us, and then you'll have a login and a password. And it's a real live piece of software that integrates so much. The list is endless.
It basically makes all the tedious tasks. Now, for one thing, we already know, we've said that it creates massive WordPress sites. It allows you to put in content and create those sites, but it does all the tedious stuff like when we're talking about in this list. Like people that don't know what Cloudflare is, it creates the Cloudflare accounts for you. It creates DNS records for you, installs the software needed to host sites on your server. When you actually get a server to use with the ATM, and when you get that server, it will install the software on that server. I mean, anything technical that you can think of that you would typically have to do or learn, we've got people in there that have never built a WordPress site or touched anything in their life. They go into the ATM and they can do it because it's easy.
So let me try and put this in a perspective for the guys that are, let's just say, newbies. I hate that word. The guys that are new to marketing, new to paper leads, new to the system. When you are trying to build your site, the first thing you got to do is get hosting. Then you got to buy a domain. Then you got to install it here. And then you got to install it in Cloudflare and get name servers. Then you got to go and change all that stuff that you had to do. That if you don't know, you don't have to do that with the ATM. It does it for you. You buy your domain name at whatever registrar you want, GoDaddy, Namecheap, anything. You buy it, you take the domain name, you put it in the back of the ATM, and you're going to see this live in a few minutes. Once you put it in, it automatically sets it up in Cloudflare. You don't have to go to Cloudflare and do it. It does it automatically for you. Then it turns around and goes and it puts itself on the hosting. automatically. There's no cPanel with us. You don't have to go and get other hosting at Bluehost, JustHost, this host, Host9, whatever. You don't have to get it. You have it all in your server.
Yeah, you're,
Everything
wherever we give you an option of like some of the best places we've seen to get a server, but either way you look at it, it's your server. It installs the software on it for you that's needed to host these sites, and installs an optimized, something that's optimized for sites that are this huge, like when Brian was talking about the size of these sites. The fact of the matter is WordPress itself is a pig when it comes to load speed and how many resources it consumes when you're building sites that are this big. So the software ATM takes care of installing the software that's required for that, but without the overhead of all this different stuff like cPanel has.
And the other thing that we give you is we vetted out two good, really good companies. One's owned by Rich, one's owned by Costas. These two companies, they put out, they have two servers that are identical for either one. You can get them from exact same price, $125 a month each. So you don't have to worry, who do I use, where do I get? These are specially optimized. Now, if you want a price comparison, I promise you, there is nowhere you're going to find a price comparison of these servers configured the way they are for less than $175.
Yeah, and there's a special price inside the ATM for all that stuff. And
okay.
like Brian said, you'll never find any hardware like that. Now, I know what it's kind of. I know Brian Burt, I know what you were saying, because if people are kind of confused on what the ATM is, and it's kind of like you got to kind of go backwards to go forwards.
Right.
Okay. So
let's clarify, guys. The ATM is the product. Lead Gadget is the company that creates the product.
Right. So we call it Lead Gadget ATM.
Awesome. Got it. Cool. Everyone good? Everyone with it? Nice.
now,
Cool. Let's move forward.
all right, the ATM creates hosting accounts in your databases via domains, so you don't have to. See,
You don't have to know what a database is.
guys, I hate to put it like this, but what happens is you get brain farts. People get that all the time. They forget how to do certain things. They don't know how to do them. So it turns them off to internet marketing. So while Burt is giving a wonderful webinar or a training how to do something that, oh man, I can do that. It's very easy. The way he explains it, what you're missing is the back-end technical stuff. So what we have done for you, for all of marketing, is we have taken the technical stuff that was on a level that was above you, okay, and wiped it out. We've made it so the habitually dum-dums, I don't care how bad you are with technical stuff. I don't care. You can do this.
Well, you get so many people over the years that say, I'm a technical idiot, I can't do anything. I should never degrade yourself like that, because I've talked to people that are incredibly smart but can't grasp certain things like this. You don't have to grasp any of it because it does it for you. That's basically what we're saying.
Okay, Don, could you go to the next slide?
Well, and we're also down here where the ATM enables you to quickly relaunch sites with successful content using our recycle button. What I wanted to touch on real quick was the fact that when you build sites with the ATM in certain verticals and niches, you'll find that some of them do extremely well, some of the sites. And what we've made it is it's very simple to take the content that worked really well on that site, recycle it, and launch another site quickly so that you can basically dominate a market. And I just want to we're just going to quickly recap here as far as what the Lead Gadget does in this flow right here. The Lead Gadget, it installs the software on your server. It creates the Cloudflare accounts. It sets up the domain for you with the it sets up the account on the server. It sets up the hosting for the server, and then it installs the domain on the server. And then when it will allow you to create and deploy those sites really quickly, so that you have a done site. The ATM builds it for you, deploys it. It's a live site when the ATM is done with it. Basically, it goes into a queue, and when your site's up, it builds it and puts it out. And this is what we're talking about here. Let's say this site that you see right here that's been generated does extremely well. You hit that recycle button, and look, you can put out a bunch of other sites really quickly.
In other words, guys, let me put it in a little simplistic manner, because Don puts it as the recycle button. But you understand what your keywords are, and you understand if you've got a page that is doing really well, you've got one site that you identified from your stats that's doing really well, you want to copy that. That's not just recycling, that's duplicating it. So you're going to duplicate that other site, put it on another domain name, okay, not on the same one, not on a subdomain, but on another domain, okay, another TLD, produce it out there, and let Google turn around and put them both on on number 1 and 2 on the page. And then produce another one and try and take up the entire 10 slots of the SERPs.
Now some of the people that are out there right now that are new to this stuff are probably going, wow, that's really cool to be able to dominate something. Now, people that are used to reading on like forums and blogs and everything, all kinds of different SEO stuff, you know, a lot of them are probably going, what the heck? You can't just copy the content from another site and throw it out there and then get another search engine spot for it. Yes, you can. That's part of the testing that we've done for all these years. So you have to remember the difference between people that are doing this as the core of their business and doing it every day versus the people that you hear that parrot stuff on forums and blogs and stuff and everything out there. So
that's duplicate content.
Don't even get us started on the duplicate content conversation.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
You guys on this webinar, duplicate content is complete bullshit. You know it like you know it. Give me a keyboard head smash. Give me a 1. Give me whatever you want. Just throw something in the chat box.
Passive and massive roles.
Yeah.
Telling you.
You know, but the ATM enables you to quickly check your indexing on Google for your sites. You know, you just click a button in there to be able to see how your indexing is doing in Google for your site. Quickly grab content for new sites because we have a content library. Actually, the content library is being revamped, so it'll be back in there in a few days. Keep a library of useful snippets of code, content, or anything else you want to insert into your sites in the same niche or vertical. Now,
we call them short codes, guys. Yeah, we call them short codes. We don't want you to get confused, but a custom list, that's what these are. The next, like, say you use these things all the time for building a site that's going to your Shopify store or is pushing through to something that's going to your Amazon store, because you sell selfie sticks or something like that, and you want to produce a bunch of sites with a bunch of LSI keywords, and you just put them in a spinner syntax and send it out. Like you see here, this is cabinet refacing, and drug rehab and HVAC services. Look,
now these are now just so we don't confuse them, because I know when you look at this stuff that's under the short code list, you look at something like that and you see these brackets and all that stuff. A lot of people are like, what the heck? All that is when you put the content in that your site's going to use to be, that the ATM is going to use to build your site, you put these little things that you see here under the short code in there, and it replaces them with whatever you have in here. So when, like Brian's saying, like if you have images that you're going to use all the time, you might stick them in a short code. You might stick affiliate links that you have or something in a short code. You might stick videos in a short code. And those are things that you're going to reuse on all sites, maybe in that same niche. So that makes it really quickly. You build a little library that saves you a ton of time.
Okay, let's go on, Don. All right. The ATM enables you, that's the same one. That's the wrong
No, this is right. We're on number 10 here. We build sites based on any type of custom list you desire. So the ATM, let me take a look here.
Okay, Don.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that in a minute. Let's go back to the end, because go back to the other page, because I want to go to number 11, guys, because, see, a lot of people, I'm sure if Brian looks, questions like, oh, well, how do I learn this stuff? Guys, we have, everybody that comes in gets this. This is no upsell, extra sell, anything. It's inclusive. You go into a Skype mastermind group that's for for all of the owners and people that are in there. So you are in a mastermind group with hundreds of other people that if you're having a problem and stuck on something, you can ask. Somebody will help you. We do not allow people to hide like, oh, how you do something. The reason we don't allow them to hide it is because you're going to need help someday. We want you to help somebody else.
Well, we don't
So
have to tell, we don't have to tell anybody that anyway, because we've got probably one of the nicest group of people you will ever meet. There is, like, when you hear the thing, there's no such thing as a dumb question. That's only the dumb question is something that hasn't been asked. Well, that's the truth, because you can ask anything in that group. Everybody is so friendly, and everybody has been where you are starting out. So,
you know, we've got a Facebook group, a closed group that's like Passive and Massive, okay, that you can go in. It's got all kinds of info. We've got a forum, theatm.co/space. It's in there. Only people that are in the ATM go in there. We leave all kinds of plugins and help and codes, how to. But, we also have, of course, a support ticket system that goes on it. But I got to tell you, the Skype Mastermind group is active 24 hours a day, guys. There are people in there constantly. Did you see this? Do you do that? Could somebody help me with this? I'm stuck. I think I made a mistake. Can you look at my site and tell me why this didn't come out like it did on yours? And you will get help from a dozen people at any given time.
yeah, it's incredible. And not only this, but there's a quick start video section in here. It has videos and different things like that inside the ATM, along with links to the YouTube channel that has tons of things in there, because what's not on this list is the fact that there's a live webinar every Thursday. And for you guys that know Bradley Benner,
He is the bomb. Bradley Benner from IFTTT, Semantic Mastery. He is a monster when it comes to training. I love him to death. Dude,
and he does the live training every Thursday. So, and sometimes he alternates it on weeks too. It's 7:30 in the morning one week and 7:30 at night at another the next week, because so that people that are on different different sides of the world can still be on there and ask questions live too.
Yeah, that's for live, but everything's recorded. We give people everything in a YouTube channel, and we have a library, at leadgadget.com/video-library. So it's all saved to you, so you never have to worry. Moving along down, please, to the next one here. Let's go to the next one. Okay, the ATM makes it easy to scale your business efforts and earn a lot more. Look, if you can earn with one site, and you can earn $10 a month, what could you earn with 10 sites? 100? How about 150? Well, what if you could scale that even more? The only thing that stops you from scaling your business up is the ability to get more and more sites out there with content and links that you need, and the affiliate links that you want on there, or phone numbers on there to draw in pay-per lead phone calls. So the fact of the matter is, using the ATM, this makes your business scale in no time. Okay? We have customers that have put up, and clients that have put up testimonials that they started in like December. By February, they were doing $5,000 a month. By August, they were doing $40,000 a month. These are real human beings, not bots that put stuff up. You can talk to them in Skype. You can talk to them in Facebook. I know there's a bunch of people that know them personally that are in Passive and Massive already. Okay? Darren Blair, really awesome guy, really monster in leads generation out in Australia. I mean, the guy will tell you point blank he's doing over 50,000 US a month. And he only uses the ATM, period.
Yeah, with the exchange rate, that's like 75K. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, he works with a company that we have a great deal with that we hooked up. It's called Ring Partners. You're very familiar with them, are you not, Brian?
Yeah, I know Ring Partners.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, guys, we made a deal with them because Ring Partners, they saw the software and how we get organic leads, and they loved it for their advertisers. Well, the fact of the matter is, we've got a boatload of people that went and signed up with Taylor. Taylor is the specific, you said it right there, he's the specific lead manager. He makes sure that you're paid. He makes sure that you get extra, that if there's a new something that, a new vertical that's coming out, he makes sure you get in it. Look, we have people that have made this their business model now, not just the way that Brian Burt teaches in PPL Empire, which is the bomb. Dude, make no mistake about it. If you're getting $600, $700, $800 a lead, that's killer. Okay, and this software will help you get even more of them.
This will help you. This will help you start sending them a lot of leads.
Really, a lot of
guys. There's a reason I have Brian and Don on this webinar. Let me bring it down for a second. There's a reason I have them on. This is a massive opportunity to get into one of the most powerful softwares I've ever found. Literally ever found. Outside of maybe Domain Reanimator. But we really
plug.
Yeah, really, guys, this is an amazing piece of software, and anyone that's in SEO knows that content is king, right? And this software will literally put out 30,000, 50, 350,000 pages or more in minutes, guys. Guys, I can't wait for you to get to that part of the web.
Yeah, Don, let's move it. I don't want to get people, what they're doing, what people are doing with Lead Gadget ATM to make money. You can make traffic funnels, like I said, Amazon before, client leads, of course. Okay, you can build lists. We have people that, they go after targeted lists. Somebody went after MMA and was just getting like 100 new signups a day on like 10 different sites that he was using. AdSense, if you want to go for that peanuts anymore. I used to do it. I'm not going to lie. I love doing it with AdSense, but it's just fallen by the wayside to me. Pay-per-lead is the champion these days. Promoting products is the champion. You can service promotion. Other CPA offers. A lot of people love CPA. CPA is way far from dead. Pay-per-call. Oh, I love it. I love it. Reputation management. Guys, if you're in the rep management area, just get with me. I will teach you in 20 minutes how to turn around and use the ATM to crush it. Not even just crush it. And local business promotion. Because as Don's going to show in a minute, we're going to go in the ATM for a quick 5-minute walkthrough just so you can see. Dude, you can turn around and put a zip code in there and say you only want to go 20 miles from that zip code or 50 miles from that zip code because, Harry's Plumbing, that's as far as he'll send his trucks. You can get leads in that designated area just by that. Go ahead, Don. You can go move it along. Okay, guys, you want social proof. Carrie Duke, one of the biggest names in OMG. He's been around in this market for like unbelievable amounts of time.
Carrie's a great guy, man. I can attest. I've had a lot of interaction with Carrie. He's a beast, and he's a part of Passive and Massive as well.
Absolutely. I know. I was just going to say that. He put a check up here to show you. Like literally, that's his check. 18 grand he got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's his check he was getting every month.
Yeah, that's a monthly recurring check, so that's beautiful. And that's with using the ATM, the Lead Gadget software.
Oh, yeah, he built 300 sites. He built 30 sites. He's built 300 for the firm. 30 sites a month is what they get. The way he does it, and he's a monster, dude.
But that's not actually showing what Kerry makes altogether, obviously. But he was nice enough to share that with people, and it was very cool.
He's a heavy hitter, for sure.
Okay, you can look Cody Wise. He's huge on helping people. Cody's a monster. I love the dude. I really do. I really, really, really love him.
Cody was actually a web designer, and he just kind of got sick of dealing with clients. And he started doing this, and then he's taken off like crazy.
Like you can see, this is from back in February, and he said his goal is 5K by May. Well, I can promise you one thing, it's October, and he's exceeded it. I promise you that.
Love it. Love it.
Guys, social proof. Here's Darren. I brought up Darren before. Okay. Dude, he's doing a lot more than $45,000 a month. Okay. That I can tell you you can ask him.
Yeah, he's doing a lot more.
Ping him whenever you want.
Darren may be on this webinar. Darren, if you're on this webinar, man, let us know, brother.
Yeah, he might be because I believe I talk to him frequently. Darren and his partner Joe are friggin' awesome. These guys got like 13 or 14 servers loaded with sites. They've got VAs. They don't even want to, they can't produce them themselves as fast. So they got VAs just pumping them out 20, 30, 40, 50 a day.
Yeah, he's doing massive, massive volume. That's one of the things when we talk about with the scaling, why you can scale so fast with the ATM. But the thing is, if you're somebody, just one single person doing it, you can do the work of 20 VAs by yourself.
Move it. Let's go, because I don't want to exceed the time. We're almost there.
Just check out
Yeah, we got about 20 minutes, guys, so keep that in mind. We don't want to go too long. I know we've got a ton, guys. We've had a ton of questions come in here.
Well, I really want to answer them all, too. I promise you, Brian, I do.
No worries, no worries.
And just,
guys,
video testimonials from some of those guys that we just showed. Just, when you see the site, you'll be able to check those out.
Okay, guys, here's a passive and massive. For LG, this is a special for you guys. The first 25 people that post the above link on their favorite groups or timeline will get $50 refunded on your payment if you use the hashtag LeadGadgetRocks. Just show us, all you got to do is show us LeadGadgetRocks that you signed up. We will refund, we will send you a PayPal for $50 back to you. Just because Brian Burt, he was trying to get us on for a while, and Brian couldn't get us. We couldn't hook up. And it's the right thing to do.
Are you able to put the link in there, Brian?
Yeah, well, I'm going to throw it in here for everybody, guys. So listen, if you're interested in the ATM, if you're interested in Lead Gadget, guys, this has my full recommendation. I don't want this to feel like a pitch webinar, but this thing is beastly. And
the only reason why I wanted you to put it in there is because I'll have to take this down to actually go in the ATM while we're doing questions.
Right. Yeah, go ahead, Don. Don, go ahead, take it down, because we're going to open the ATM, but I'd like to take the first 3 or 4 questions, Brian, while Don is doing that.
Okay, so I am concurrently live periscoping right now and hosting the webinar. And we've got questions coming in from both angles. So if you're on Periscope and you're watching me, hit me up with a question I can answer here. If you're on the webinar, hit me up with a question I can answer here. Now, one of the biggest questions we've gotten on both sides is, and very obviously, it's the first question, Brian, I asked you and Don, will not having so many pages, this comes from Gordon, will not having so many pages on your website suddenly send alarm bells or raise red flags with Google?
Negative. We've already proved this. But whether it's Surfshaker, which used to be Local Pages Ninja back in 2010, we've proven this for the past almost 6 years that there is a special balancing point.
Here's
more is better, but too much is bad.
Yeah, we've hit we've done so many pages that we hit about the 30,000 page. As far as posts go, we make about 30,000 posts is what we consider the maximum. Now, when you're talking about how some of these things get indexed to 200,000 plus, is because with WordPress, you've got tags and categories and everything else in there. So those all get indexed as separate pages as well inside of Google. So you end up where if you've got tags on 30,000 pages and you've got 15 tags, you end up with about
446,700. You end up with, guys, here's how it works so you get it. If you put 15 tags, on there, and you're using our 30,000 USA list, which you get for free, there's nothing else you need. Let me be clear, to buy, but a server to host your sites that's yours, you own that's yours, and Lead Gadget, being in our server to build them. Now, when you use the 30,000 list and you put 15 tags, it comes out to 446,700 tag pages, including the category pages and everything. So you add the 30,000 to the 446, it equals 776.7. Call it 500,000 pages. Google, if it really likes your content, you'll see 225, 230,000 fully indexed pages. What will happen is it will drop down after, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. Usually you'll see it drop down to about 150,000, maybe even as far down as 125,000.
You'll get some sites that will actually go down to like 40,000 even. But the moral of the story is because of the way that the ATM, the way that you can build sites and the way that you can push them out so fast is that you've got plenty of sites that you build that'll last over a year. It might last years, but but you got some of them that might last 3 months.
Hey, Don, let's go into main. Go into my sites and show them real quick how easy it is to put add a new domain.
Do you have a domain?
Add one. Add a new domain. No, I don't have one, but we're going to show. We show it anyway. Guys, you put your site name in. You put your domain name in. Okay. You turn around on the bottom here. You put your username where your WP admin. You go in to go into your WordPress site.
Here's the thing. So you know what that is, because there's a lot of people, we got to remember, Brian, that some people probably have never even built a WordPress site. So the WordPress has a username and password so that you can get into it. When the ATM actually deploys the sites that it makes, they're actually WordPress sites, and they are real WordPress sites. So they're just like any other WordPress site that you would put out yourself, except for the fact that it builds it for you and puts them out there in the way that we build sites, I should say. So you got the site name that's something that you will always know what that site is, and it'll also be displayed on the blog on the website when it's deployed. And then you've got your domain name, whichever that domain name may be in here. You select your servers, select your Cloudflare account. Your blog username and password that Brian was just talking about is the ones that you would use to log into that blog that's being created after it's up and it's live, after the ATM has put it out and it's live. And then you just click Add Domain. It goes out to your server, creates the hosting account, adds everything that it needs to add, does it all for you, bing, bang, done.
Now you want to make a subdomain, for instance, on there? Don, could you go there? Because we're going to show you how to make a subdomain in 1 second. This is easy. Don, could you put up there test 1, 2, 3, test on site name? Just type in test. Okay. Now, the subdomain will be test.pbnlease.xyz. Okay. Test, put test in the username blog.
Yeah.
And test in the password. And just, okay. This is how hard it is, guys. Watch this. Click it. This takes a really long time. Oh, my goodness. Your site was added.
No, that's a subdomain that we just created, so if we go to it.
It's live on the web, guys.
That tested, or that thing that you see right there, you know that your site is actually, you know that your hosting account for that domain is up and it's resolving already that quickly. And all you have to do now is actually build a site inside the ATM.
Hey, Don, let's do one more just to show them, because they might think, let's pick another one. Add subdomain. We're going to do this one more time. Okay,
yeah, now this is the same thing like when we showed you add domain. Like if you were adding your main domain in here, we're just doing subs because we don't have a main domain to add in here right now.
Hit the main domain. Hit it and see if we got another domain in there, Don, inside this account.
Oh, we do.
Okay, pick one. Okay, test. Do it again. Test. Okay.
Hey guys, a couple of questions here. I'm going to field them for you, okay?
Go ahead.
So we got a couple of questions. One being, do we have to use the host that you guys provide? And I know the answer to that.
No.
You can use whatever you want.
You're correct. Yes. Here, watch, guys. Add subdomain. Boom. Done. Now it shows it up there, and it's live on the web. This is how fast the software works.
Now, you were talking about that, Brian. I just want to make sure that people understand. Listen, you can get a server wherever you want. If you can find a better deal than what we found here for you, tell me, because I want to know. But
yeah, absolutely tell me, because I'll add the company to the list over here.
Yeah,
if you scroll it up, Don, could you scroll it for a second?
Hold on one second. We were talking about getting servers other places. When you log in, you just have to make sure that if you get a server somewhere else, you tell them exactly what we have here.
Okay, scroll to the top on here, Don. Guys, you see C&C Advanced Online Service, that's Costas. Network Cities is Robert. Let me tell you about both of these guys. They're awesome. Costas is constantly in the chat and Skype when people need help. He manages everything. He does everything. Okay, I'm telling you, we've personally trained him. We've had him for with his company for months. He's been with us for a long time. He knows his shit, period. Network Cities, Robert, man, this guy, he is the epitome of a geek. I love him. He loves Don, too, because why? He's always willing to help somebody. You can get this guy on Skype with a snap of a finger. If you've got an issue, it's resolved. Don't even worry. The guy's awesome. Okay, Don, go to add content. I just want people to see this. Okay, add new,
You want me to add new content?
I want them to see it. Guys, I want you to see, you select the list at the top. Go to the top first, Don. Let's go. Okay, so you select a pack list. You notice U.S. full states in there, guys. That's the 30,000 list that comes with it. You can make any other one you want. The article title, come on, guys. We know how to make a title, right? Everybody does. Meta description, we know this is 155 characters. It's not like Twitter, but it's the same thing. Tags, we teach you how to make them. If you don't know how to make them, they're so simple, it's ridiculous. Categories.
I don't want people to actually get confused when they're looking at this that have never done stuff like or terminology like meta description they don't understand, because there's videos in here that'll help you do this really quick. But meta description, when you search something in Google, you'll see a link there, and then the wording that's underneath that link is typically what's in the meta description. So you want to make that something that's good, and people want to click it. They found what they wanted.
Okay, scroll it down into the main WYSIWYG. Guys, this is a regular WYSIWYG, just like you always use. Don, put the cursor in the box, please. Okay, guys, you see all these short codes in red on the top? City, state, click on them, and they pop right up in the box for you.
Same with
Scroll down,
codes.
you see all these other ones? They just click on them, they pop right in the box for you. That's why we make your life easier with it. Everything is about making your life easier.
It's integrated with Amazon S3, if you're familiar with that too, because we host we always host images on S3. It's, so you can do your images and save them, upload them, all that stuff, and they'll always be there inside there for you.
You want to put Google Maps, you can. The right sidebar, the left side, the right sidebar, you got 3 slots, random post, archives, categories. Hey, you want to select which site it is. Then you look down here, see it says select site, guys. If you pick your site, click on one of them, it doesn't matter. You highlight the site you want to send out, make your site on, you hit add content. Don, go back up to the top, please. Go to deploy sites.
Oh, here, let's just do something really quick. We'll show you that recycle button.
Okay, not content deployed.
I'm going to recycle this piece of content real quick, which means it's going to make a new copy of it.
Okay, scroll down.
I'm going to put test in there just so I know what it is.
Okay, recycle
I'm going to recycle that and go back and edit it now just so you can see. Now we select this pack list.
Scroll to the bottom. You're going to put your sidebars on. Okay, archives and categories.
I usually just do random posting categories, but
put it out on that one. Update content. Now go to deploy site, please, Don.
Yeah, I just want to show them something real quick that shows your content ID, what you used, and the site that it's linked to. So now when you go to deploy sites, you see that this site ID, this content is ready. I can hit deploy, and that site will be built.
Before the end of the questions, you will see that site, guys. Don, show them that that's a blank site still. It's up there.
Yeah, Anthony. We'll get a replay for you.
Okay. You'll see that.
What was this one, right?
Yep, that's it. Guys, you see right now that this is a blank. Now, Brian, please start with the questions. I don't want to run over too much because I know it's a pain in the neck. So if you'll start with the questions, this is building itself right now. Don, if you turn around and hit the main, I want them to see that they can see that too. By the way, guys, if you scroll it down, you see in the queue right here, it figures. We got people in there locking the queue up already. It's gonna happen.
It doesn't matter. It builds them so fast it won't matter anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Brian, could you read some questions? Let's go with some of these questions because I really want to make sure everybody is answered. Brian?
Hey guys, sorry I had you on mute there. Okay.
Oh, okay.
A few questions rolling in here. So, okay, cool. What's the difference between this and Surfshaker? John wants to know from Info CUS Pub.
And this is perfectly right now because now we're inside it, so it's a little easier to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for one thing, like all your sites are saved in here. All your content is always saved in here to be reused. It actually builds the site and deploys it for you. A lot of times people that are familiar with the Surfshaker plugin, again, co-creator of that, a lot of times what you find is you have to build the site on like your local machine and go through a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to add, like, for instance, we have short codes in this thing, like we talked about before. This stuff, you can use short codes, different types of short codes and stuff in Surfshaker, but you have to add them every time. So basically with Surfshaker, you have to go install WordPress, install the plugin, install the short codes you're going to use.
Get your domain, go to Cloudflare.
Get your domain, do all the manual stuff with Cloudflare because, like, for instance, right here, I don't know if this has any in here, but I don't think it doesn't. So I'm just gonna do a test one real quick.
Test it, brain matter.
Yeah. Brain. Oh. I'm gonna hit create Cloudflare account. Oh, that's probably one I already got in there. Let me.
By the way, guys, just a little comment here from Carl. Carl's my dude. I've known Carl for a long time. He says, I pay $150 for an SS site, $125 for a landing page. For the price of one site, I can make many sites per month. Killer.
Okay. Watch this, guys. We just created a brand new, as you see, Cloudflare account.
The reason that I had that error before because we apparently already have an account somewhere with test. I probably did a test before, so there was already a Cloudflare account with that email.
Okay. Now, to add your server, Don, could you show them how easy it is to add a server? Guys, you're going to flip for a second.
Yeah, I want you to
name your server. You name your server. You put the IP address in. Where username is, you just put root in lowercase. You put the password that's given to you with the server.
Let's say it's not always root, but typically it'll be root if you order it from one of the guys that we have up there. But if you get a server somewhere else, it's going to be whatever username and password they send you. Okay. And then you're going to click add server, and at that point, see, we can't add the server in here right now. But at that point, what happens is it actually goes to that bare bones server that has nothing on it but the operating system, and it installs Apache, Nginx, MySQL, all that stuff that you would never know how to install. It installs all that for you so that it's ready for you to add those domains.
In minutes. Like literally two, almost 3 minutes.
This is also answering some of the stuff with Surfshaker and stuff. So.
Yeah, Surfshaker cannot do this.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love that plugin. I was one of the people that co-created it. But the fact of the matter is, we need to build fast. We need to make it easy for people that have none of this technical knowledge. And this thing does it all for you. I mean, it creates everything. It creates those Cloudflare accounts.
Here's a good question for you guys. Here's a good question. And if you mind me jumping in here on you real quick. We had a question from Chris. And Chris says, how does ATM work with WordPress themes, i.e. the lead multiplier theme, which is the theme that we put out in PPL Empire?
I want to answer that, Brian, because we spoke about this last week. Yep. You guys can use, these are regular WordPress sites. If you know how to change your theme, then if you go into WordPress and change your theme, you can use the WordPress multiplier. You can use any theme you want. We send it out with a 2012 WordPress theme, but you can use any theme you want. We are going to be adding Brian's theme with PPL Empire in every build that goes out with the ATM because we've spoken to him and we want to promote it.
I love that theme. I got to
Dude, we have to, and it's going to be in there for everybody. So you're not going to have to upload it or anything. All you're going to have to do is say, change the theme. Don is putting the little bits of code that have to go in for some of the footer stuff. all your policies that are on there that are required by FTC regulation, so you don't have to worry.
Oh, I want to show them this real quick before you. When we said you make lists, these lists are actually used in the build. That was where we showed the drop down in the content when you select the pack list. Now this will all make sense. I mean, the videos explain it. It's not as hard as it looked right there. But one of the cool things is we have this where it'll actually generate the list for you. So let's say the slider acts stupid, so ignore that. But what's in there? Somebody give me a zip code.
08009, mine, Don. Just use it, 08009.
Okay, you can drag this. It just doesn't move. The slider doesn't move. So let's see. I want to go. Let's say I want 75 miles, and I hit find locations. Finds all your cities, your city-state combinations. This builds that list for you. Now, if I hit create list based on radius, and I go back to my list where it shows all these, here you go. So now, if we built something, what this basically did is now we can build sites that are in a radius of 75 miles of that zip code. So it's great if you're targeting stuff for local clients.
Now, what is coming within the next couple of days that is going to be in there is, say you want to build it just for one state. You will be able to build it for one state, or say you have 10 states. You have a client that does the southeast area, quadrant, or whatever.
That's this link right here that'll be active eventually here.
Okay, that says create list by states.
So
The feature isn't available yet. Don't worry, guys. Within a week, it'll be up and working. Okay, there's just a couple of bugs that have to come out of it. Go on, Dot. Go on, Brian. Excuse me. Brian, please read the next question.
Yeah, so we do have a bunch coming in here. So how about custom themes, guys? If it's a custom WordPress theme, that'll work just as well.
Let me just put it blanket again for everyone. Any theme that is uploadable on WordPress, any theme you are able to use, period. Heat maps, everybody uses CTRs, heat map, all different kinds of paid themes, free themes, whatever theme it is, you can use, period.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, question here coming in from Justin, which is really relevant, guys. Okay, he says, how do these pages, and I asked you this, Brian, but how do these pages get indexed? Do we need to force indexing, or what are you doing there?
Okay, Don, could you show them the promote button, please?
Right there.
Okay, guys, do you see this? It says edit, bomb, promote, delete, check.
The ones that you see here have already been promoted because you can only promote the site once, and I can't do it yet because the site's not even built. But
right, it's almost built. It's doing the tags right now. It's got 29,779 pages done, and it's got a couple of 100,000 tags.
So it already had those other ones in before, and it's already in there building, so it'll be done here shortly.
Okay.
But this promote button, I'll actually explain what this does. It actually goes out and does things the right way. You know, it sends it to Pingomatic and things like that, different RPC ping sites, and then it also sends the sitemap to Google and Bing, and then it does a couple other quick things with like who is sites and stuff.
Okay, cool, cool. So that will that effectively index everything that every one of these pages that the site builds, or how does that work exactly?
That will ping Google. How it works in a nutshell, simple, is it pings Google through Webmaster and says, hey Google, I'm over here. You want to send some bots and index me? Google comes over, and over the course of usually 3 days.
Well, typically when you hit, just so they know, if you got New Stats Press inside of all those builds, so if you click and activate the New Stats Press plugin, and then your site is, after that's already up, if you click promote, you'll see one of the bots in there from Google like almost within 2 minutes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, you will have your site, I am telling you, from testing, personal experience, hit the promote button, your site is fully indexed approximately 10 days later.
Nice. Okay, guys.
It's done the right way, not in any way that'll hurt the site. That's one of the things we want to make sure.
None of this rapid indexing crap that's really hurting people. You think rapid indexing is so good, okay? You're doing all these rapid indexing stuff, and mind you, Don and I have Crazy Indexer, which is a rapid indexing service that is, we just know after testing with it for a long time, It is bad.
Well, here's what you get from the rapid indexing services, and I think my rapid indexer was the first one to ever use what it does, and I'm not going to talk about what it does, but the thing is with the rapid indexing though is the fact that for longevity, this promote button works really well. When things are rapid indexed, we've always noticed that probably a good 40 to 60% of the massive amounts of sites that we put out, they would actually lose traction much quicker than anything that than when we
3 to
promoted
6
this.
months after they went out. Okay, next question, Brian.
Yeah, guys. Okay, great answer. Thank you for that. So we've got a
No
question
problem.
here from Julian, my man. What's up, Julian? It says, one of the pages, once the pages are built, can we make changes to the content easily? For example, if we need to change the tracking phone number.
Yes. I'm going to explain something very simply and easily. Guys, I have a plugin called WP Overlayer that is installed on every single build. To use this like it was done today, Don, could you please go to...
I'll just pull up the one that's in here for the main domain. It doesn't matter.
While you're doing that, quickly answer yes or no here, Brian. Does this work for international?
Yes.
Okay.
This is good because I don't have the overlay on it right now. I might as well show everybody how this works.
Okay, question. Another good question while you're doing that. Chris asks, do sites like this rank based just on their size and weight, or do we need to hit them with PBN backlinks?
I don't hit that. We don't hit them with any backlinks.
We do zero backlinking.
Guys,
Now,
that's why I brought Brian and Don on. This thing is a beast. I mean,
I got to tell you this for that question because it's an extremely good question.
right.
Okay, we don't need backlinks on these sites, but if you add backlinks and you turn around with those backlinks and go in PBN style and then run it through into Money Site, we have found great responses from the site, and I mean really good stuff. The thing is we don't use them and we don't go with that approach mainly because that's not our business model. We just throw that, there's an old saying, throw as much shit against the wall as you can and see what sticks. Well, guess what, guys? We found the way to make it all stick. Very simple, very easy.
Now, one of the things I wanted to show right there was that overlayer plugin. Now, if you look at this right here, you'll see. I don't know why that keeps jumping to a new page. I must have hit that. I must have hit not tab and said new page. But the landing pages like this are actually already inside the ATM, and you can use them for call for anything that's call related, like with Ring Partners, and you'll find that they're all responsive, etc. But this is actually this site. So the site that we were just on is now displaying this. And if we go through here, I'm going to turn this back off. This is the overlayer plugin that's installed on. That's actually included in every blog, but you activate it if you want to use it. So
Hey, Don.
yeah.
I've had a couple of people now telling me that they've got errors when they try to purchase the software.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to look at
I
that.
want to check into that real quick. That said, why don't you do that, Don? And Brian, you and I will talk for a second, okay?
Go ahead, Don.
So-
Just put a static screen up, or you can leave that and go to one of the other computers. Go ahead, please.
Here's a couple of the same questions came in, okay? Where are people getting the content? So does ATM post for
okay.
you? Where's the content coming from? So we've had 3 or 4 different questions just around that subject.
Let me tell you,
Mhm.
okay? When it comes to the content, we have a content library with 2.5 million pieces. But that said, I have personally gone to Buzzle, article directories, eZine, and snatched a piece. We use Spin Rewriter or Jonathan Ledger's Best Spinner.
Sure.
Jonathan Ledger is, he's a god when it comes to
Everybody knows
marketing stuff. I love John. I ain't got a bad word to say about the man. His stuff is just killer. Okay? But I love Spin Rewriter. Why? Because it's got a push button aspect that I really like about it. And I can take a piece of content, run it in there, get it really quick, 1, 2, 3, and we're back and done. And, it's really that easy and that simple.
Okay, cool. So that, that was 3 or 4 questions, guys. And also, I want to add to what Brian just said. There are plenty of PLR content articles out there that are 100% free. All you have to do is Google free PLR content and get out there, and that'll do it for you. You can plug any of that into a decent spinner, and you've got a lot of content that goes out there. Now, guys, is this content going to be, world-renowned, top-level writing? No.
No. It's not supposed to be.
And that's
the whole thing. Churn and burn. There's a churn and burn method.
Absolutely. Explain that.
Okay. When you are building as many sites as I do, I've been known to build 150, 200 sites in a day, like with ease. I spent 2 weekends ago, I built 550 sites in 2 days.
Brian?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Brian, Burt, I'm going to switch this back to your screen for a second, or give it back to you.
Sure, no problem.
Well, I'm going to go through and do this. Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. I have 2 weekends ago, I did this, and I was online with people on Skype all weekend. I stayed up. I went 40 straight hours, and I built 550 sites.
Right. Wow.
The ATM is a beast. When I say this, guys, look, if you guys are looking at your time, 12 minutes ago, we put the site out. It is just zipping up and launching right now. Okay?
Wow, that's incredible. So here's another one from Jamil. How you doing, Jamil? I know you've been on almost all of our webinars. It says a question here. It says, if my clients see spun content on their site, they will flip. So how do you get around that? Let's say somebody's in client SEO.
There is no spun content on your client's site. It's on yours. You use WP Overlayer to send it. You rank that. This is what you do. You rank your site. You use WP Overlayer to go to a landing page, and I teach this very, very clearly. Say your client is builds backyard decks, okay? So you put a beautiful deck on there and everything else with a video for somebody, and it says right there with a button, would you like to learn more about, would you like a free quote, learn more, whatever. They can click the button and go to your client's site, or you could say, call us, okay, and we'll come to you for a free quote. Nobody can even see the content on the site. That's number one. They don't know it's spun anyway because there is no spinner content that comes on each page. There isn't anything that's spun that you see. Google doesn't even see it that way. Why? Because this program that we have called the ATM, it takes everything and makes it real content. It's a real site and it's really done.
Now, guys, I want to take that to the next level here. So think about it this way. We've got PBNs, and if you're smart, you're buying high-power, high-authority, expired domains with a great domain crawler, like Domain Reanimator, or you're going out and you're buying them. However you're getting them, I really don't care, but think about it this way. Imagine installing Lead Gadget, the ATM, using the ATM to put 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 pages of pure content inside of an aged high-authority domain. Do you know what it would do to the metrics almost immediately? That would become one of the most powerful PBNs in your arsenal. You could do it with every single PBN that you've got. I mean, talk about immediate rankings. Not only would your PBNs be ranking, but every link that you pointed from that expired domain with high-authority metrics to a money site would be worth 10, 20, 50 times the value. These guys have tested it. We've all tested it. It works. It's literally the best name they could have given to this software, the ATM, because it does. Brian, what does it do? What did you say in the beginning of this webinar?
This thing shits out money. Straight up, bro.
The quote of the night right there.
Listen, you know what I really loved? When you put Eddie Money's song on at the beginning of the webinar, okay? Because money ain't for nothing, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, we had an image that Don made initially that was Zero Fill's ATM, and it showed a picture of Zero Fill, which is on an ATM machine, and this thing was just huffing out cash. It was a broken water pipe. It was a broken ATM. It was just spitting out $100 bills. And this is really what this is.
Awesome.
Because the more you build, the more you have on the web, the more you make. If you take a 30,000 post site and it only ranks, say, 100 or 200 of the pages within it on page 1, now you multiply that by 10. Now you multiply that by 100. Now you multiply that even more. Multiply it, in other words, multiply it by friggin' 200. Okay, and now multiply it by 2,000 sites. Okay, and then all of a sudden, you know, wow, look what you got.
Here's another good question. So will the overlayer work on a multi-page site, not just a landing page?
Not sure I get that question, what that means.
Yeah, okay. So on any regular website with more than just one page, will it work on that site? And Jamil, the answer is yes, absolutely. So if you want to clarify a little bit.
I gotta cut in, Brian, 1 second. Don, could you put out that 247 straight PayPal link for the button for everyone? If there's a problem on the software from them, I don't want anybody to have a problem. I don't want anybody to lose out on the bonus. I don't want anybody to miss out on making money for their clients. If they need to get on, I don't care how many hours. Guys, Brian Burt will attest to this. I don't care how many hours it takes for me to train you personally or help everybody. This is what Don and I do. The testimonials, I'm very humbled by a lot of what people say, but the fact of the matter is, I love this. I live for this. This is what I really love to do. And everybody that's in the ATM or comes in here will tell you this is all I like to do.
Yeah, guys, and I can definitely back Brian up on that. He has been on Skype with Danielle. A lot of you guys know my wife. He's been on Skype with Danielle. I think cumulatively here in the past week, I'd have to say at least 10 to 12 hours. Just walking her through a lot of different tips, tricks, techniques. They've set up a bunch of different sites together. And that Skype group that you get into when you're a part of Lead Gadget, the ATM, it's a really active group. So active, in fact, that I had to turn off the notifications on my Skype so I could get some damn work done. But, it's definitely active. These guys really back it up. This software walks the walk. And if you use it, honestly, it's a very advanced SEO tool. But if you use it right, and you're real SEO, this thing is going to change the game for you. I mean, what are we all about here? Everybody on this webinar is about creating passive income. I mean, if you guys are in this to create passive income, give me a 1, give me a keyboard head smash, do whatever you want. If you guys are in this game to create passive income, nice, Jamil just knocked himself out. That's what we're here for. And this is what it does. It automates the process. I mean, forget putting tons and tons of content up there. Guys, I have a site that I've been working on since 2008. It's my client SEO site. We put a blog post up every day. I mean, within 10 minutes, I had a much larger site with Lead ATM than I did over the past, 14 years. So, it's incredible.
You know what? I forgot to even say it. That site's already up, guys. Hey, Don,
Yeah.
Could you shoot me that link, and I'll shoot that link to Brian? I want him to see it. I want him to be able to see this, or because I know you're working trying to get the
Skype it over to me, Don, and I can blow it up for everybody.
I want them to see that it's live, that this is how quick it was done.
So how many pages did you guys get up in the time that that you launched it about 10, 15 minutes ago?
30,000. 29,779.
Jeez Louise. Okay, guys. So hopefully everybody's hearing this.
Brian, I'm going to give you the WP admin privately in Skype and a WP password for that one. Oh, wait, Don, did we make it?
Yeah, we just did.
What? Oh, no, we showed that one, didn't we?
So Don't much matter, but
Yeah, if you could just put it up on the screen, I really want that. I want everybody to see that, in 15 minutes it was done.
All right,
Like,
guys, so
really.
here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. We are kind of running a little over time here.
I'm so sorry, Brian. I apologize for that to your really great audience. I mean, it's wow.
So here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and send out an email. So everybody that's on this webinar right now, I will send out a follow-up email. You'll get the email because you're on this webinar. And that email will include a working link to pick up the software and the $50 rebate information. You guys can go ahead and click that. You'll get it here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And anyone listening to this in the future, if you're on YouTube or if you're in our groups, the link will be working at that point as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's surprising we never have problems like this. I don't understand.
well, the platform's actually new, so we put it on a newer platform that's actually not released yet for the payment part of it. So it's not our platform.
Right. Okay, guys.
Yeah. Hey Don, could you just put the PayPal button?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to. 1 second.
Yeah, just, guys, what's going to happen, I'm going to explain very clearly. Normally, you would get it all automated, your login and everything else information. You will get that within the next hour to an hour and a half. Check your emails. I promise you, if you don't, just hit a support ticket. That's because for some reason it went into your spam. We will make sure you have your login within the next hour. I'm not even going to let it be an hour.
Keep an eye out for an email from me. Guys, Don, Brian, guys, this is incredible. And everybody on this webinar, thank you for hanging around. We've had almost less than a 1% attrition. That means everybody's super excited to be here. We keep bouncing off that 500 number. But thank you, everybody, for being here. And Don and Brian, you guys have anything, last words here before we jump off?
Yeah, I would love if there's one more really question that you think should be answered right away. I would really
slow down. So I think the rebate, you guys, that's the last question. The $50 rebate, when will they get that? How soon after they sign up?
They will get that sometime in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts. When we send you the email with your information, okay, we want you to send right back to tech, T-E-C-H, okay, or send it to Brian at leadgadget.com. Send me a screenshot of where you posted it. The first 50, I guarantee, the first 50 will get it. Okay.
All right, guys. All right, well, again, thank you guys so much for being on. We always appreciate it here. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of this. Brian and Don, thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.
Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye now.